So this morning we had a wild ride with the stock SNTG. This stock started out in the morning roughly around $2, slightly under $2. And at its highest point, it made it over $12 per share. About $12.70 is where it ended up around 1 in the afternoon. So where I really took notice is whenever it got to the second candlestick. So one thing on these penny stocks is, I said in a previous video, don't just buy it on the first candlestick. Sometimes it's good to be patient and just watch and see how it plays out. If you don't ever make an entry, it's okay, because these are risky. If you don't make an entry, you also don't have to worry about losing money. So don't worry about fear of missing out if you don't buy. But you see how this first candlestick right around 11 o'clock was really tall? This is where a lot of people bought, and then a lot of people ended up selling between there and 11:30. Now, whenever the second run at 11:30 begins, this is where it gets my attention and where I'm going to decide whether I want to make an entry or not. I ended up not making an entry until somewhere, it was $5 and something whenever I actually made my entry, and I let it ride. I set the stop loss. I did it at $5.50, and I set my stop loss for right around $4.50. So I was willing to risk $1 per share. Like I said in a previous video, if you're willing to risk $1, you shouldn't be selling until it's at least $1 higher. So, but once it hit $6.50, it continued running. So if it continues running, you just let it run. You don't have to exit half your position, but it is not bad to exit half your position. But once it peaked, and it had this really long wick where we have the inverted hammer, this is where the trend begins to change. And this is the first time that you see such a change in the wick. And so what I did was, whenever it dipped to around $10.50, I exited half my position, and then I set my stop loss for somewhere in the nines. It was lower nines. And then once it rose back up and I saw that it didn't go past $10.50, I got out around $10.15, and it continued going down. And here's something that I talked about yesterday, is you don't need to be eager to enter a short sell. But if you see a new trend that is trending, that's something to consider. So what I did do was I waited about an hour, and what I noticed is that it was trending in the downward position. And so I did a short sell at about $9 per share, and ended up making my exit close to $8 a share. And even after hours, it went back up and then went back down. So this is this is one of those unique circumstances where we had an extreme trend going up and then an extreme trend going down. And the reason why you don't want to just enter a short position right whenever it's at the highest is because there are times it will just continue to fly, and in severe proportions. I mean, I've seen stocks go from $12 to $20 in minutes. And sometimes the stock exchange will halt trading, but there have been times they have taken their sweet time and didn't halt trading whenever you would assume that they're going to halt. A halt is where there is too much of an increase or decrease in the price, and they stop the pricing. I believe this started after the Great Recession in 2008 because of the massive amounts of sell-offs. Ever since then, they have done these halts. So if something goes up by an extreme amount in a short period of time, the stock exchange will halt the trades, and you can't trade it. Usually it's a 10-minute waiting period. Okay? Now, there were I don't think there was a single halt on this. There may have been one or two, and I may have not really paid much attention because I entered this and then went off and did other things, and if it stopped me out, it was going to stop me out. But when I didn't start paying a lot of attention to this until I had my short position, but that was also a successful trade. So we had an extreme trend going down, and an extreme trend going up. This is one of those rare circumstances where you can make money on buying and then short selling. Thank you for watching.